Here comes the Tiger.
Mama raised a tiger, daddy raised a tiger. They say they gon' kill me. I went and got my rifle. Shout out to Big Tiger. Shout out to Big Tiger. Shout out to my tiger.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! T-I-G-E-R-S, Tiger, Tiger, Tiger!
What's up, y'all? I'm Puda. With me, as always, Coach Dre, and welcome to Tiger Talk.
Yep, another episode. Finally, an episode after a dub.
Shank.
So,
Week 7
Week 7,
in football.
episode 10.
There you go. We got it down that time.
Double digits.
All right, like you said, we got a win, 28-7 over HL Bourgeois.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
I mean, obviously, anytime you get a win, it's a good feeling. Don't think we were necessarily satisfied, though, with the way that we played in all three phases of the game, and I think the guys will tell you that. But, you know, the most important thing is we came out of there with a victory, something that's been kind of escaping us for a while, for the last 4 weeks. So, yeah, definitely good to go in there and get a win. And, you know, we'll highlight a little bit of what we did well and what we really need to improve on here a bit.
And I think that's a good thing that you won, but you're not satisfied, because that means you want to get better.
Yeah.
And obviously the players do too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, you jump into the offensive stats. Braden Becknell, 12 for 24, 207 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought Becknell played really well, man. You know, obviously the highlight of his night was the play where everybody thinks he's sacked.
Everybody.
And gets thrown to the ground, and he finds a way to stay up, and then he finds Kyron in the back of the end zone for a big touchdown pass. That was a huge play by him, which kind of shows you flashes of his potential of what we see him being, you know, for us in the future. And then early on in the game, you know, he hits Kyron on a slant route, which was a really good ball fake on the play action, and then puts the ball right on the money to Kyron. So, yeah, man, he had some other good throws. You know, the gyro in the flats, had a big one to Dom on a hitch. So, yeah, we were impressed with the way he was able to throw the football and, you know, some of the timing and stuff that we talk about each week, how it's not necessarily where it needs to be yet. I thought his timing was a lot better last week on some of his throws, too. So, yeah, you know, he's we talked about it this week. He's quickly approaching the 1,000 yards passing mark. He's at like 950 something. So, you know, that'll be a big accomplishment for him, you know, early, you know, year one, just to get over that hump of being able to throw for 1,000 yards. So hopefully we get that tomorrow night. But, yeah, really liked the way he played last week.
Big night for the running backs.
Yes.
Mari, 11 rushes for 100 yards. Cohen, 7 for 77. Trevon, 4 for 8. Braden ran 5 times for 25. And Dominic came back after his concussion, 6 for 45 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, so it was our best night running football all season. Something that we were really excited about, something that we really want to be able to do and we think we're capable of doing as a team. So we kind of showed flashes of what we really anticipated us being offensively last week. Yeah, Griff had his best night of the season, his first 100-yard game. Thought he ran the ball strong. Thought he had good pad level. Some good tough runs. You know, he's not a guy that runs away from anybody, but he runs through them and he drags people and he carries piles. So I thought he did a good job. His vision was good, hitting the hole and things like that. Gyro did a great job too. You know, only 7 touches, but he averaged over 10 yards per carry. So, you know, anytime we get him the football, we got to try to work to do a little bit more, I think. And as well as Dom. Dom's a guy that when he touches it, he's explosive. One of those runs was a 20-yard touchdown run that he popped off on a wash play that we call. So, yeah, I thought we ran the ball really, really well behind the offensive line. You know, Braden made a couple plays. You know, when the pass protection broke down, made a couple plays with his legs. So, just all around rushing the football, just a really big performance by our team. But, I mean, you got to give credit to the guys up front, too. They did a good job opening up holes and, you know, kind of The frustrating part, which they would agree with us in what I'm about to say, is when we execute what we're supposed to do, we look like a very competent offense who can move the ball on anybody. Um, but there's so many times within drives where we have really, really, really big mess ups. Just by one guy, two guys, assignment wise, where we go to the wrong guy and then there's a one technique who's unblocked in the backfield just waiting to make the tackle on the ball carrier. So, but when we're efficient and effective in what we're doing and we go to the right places, we don't have to get a ton of movement. As long as we get a body on a body and a man for a man, we're a good offense and we can move the football up and down the football field. We're just too many critical mistakes at inopportune times, I think, which has slowed us down a little bit throughout the majority of the season. But last week we didn't have as much of that. We only had like 3 tackle for loss plays in the run game. So I thought that was a big improvement. So the guys are getting better, so we're excited about that.
Definitely. Big night for receiving, too. Kyron Falls, 4 for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cohen, 6 catches for 75 yards. Jacob Terrell, 1 for 6, and Dominic, 1 for 17.
Yeah, so, 2 player of the games. Offensively, we went with player of the games because Cohen had a great night, 70-something yards on the ground, 70-something in the air, 140 total. Yeah. And then Kyron, obviously, 4 catches, 100 yards plus with 2 touchdowns. So I thought that, big nights from both of those guys in the passing game, getting open and doing a good job of making plays when they had the football in their hands. And Kyron even had one call back on the first play of the game on that little fake screen and go, which was a 60-yarder. So, man, I think, at the receiver position, we're doing good things. I think we're really talented there. Everybody that we got out there other than Ciante is a junior or a sophomore or a freshman. You know what I mean? So, like, these are guys that you're going to continue to see for the next couple of years. So they're getting a lot of experience under their belts. But I'm really excited about the way that they're progressing within our scheme and kind of just developing their skill set a little bit more throughout the season. Yeah, you can kind of see our spacings getting a little bit better. We're in the right spots when we need to be in the right spots. So gradually we're getting to where we really need to get, and at the right time too. Right. Hopefully we're making a push right now to get into the playoffs.
All right.
Gotta win a couple games.
All right. Overall offense, 33 rush attempts, 255 yards, 7.72 yards per carry. 24 pass attempts, 207 yards, 17.25 yards per completion. 57 total plays, 462 yards, 8.81 yards per play. Only 4 penalties, 50 yards, 2 sacks, which is, that's an improvement too.
It's an improvement, definitely.
It shows that up front they're doing better, and
we're getting rid of the ball quicker too.
Yeah, Brayden get away from
he's a lot more elusive than you think. Yeah.
So overall, pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was a good night. It was our most offensive plays so far this season. Yeah. We held on to the ball for the most that we've done, our least amount of punts all season. Offensively, we didn't get the amount of points that I think we should have got from having 457 yards or 476 yards with 57 plays, averaging 8-point-something yards per play.
You want to score.
You want to score more than what we did. So that's just.
But it's still more than we've been doing.
Time.
So
it takes time.
It's showing improvement.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, defensively, leading tackler Tyler England, 12 total, 8 solo, 4 assists, and 1 behind the line.
Mm-hmm.
Then it looks like Rashad, 8 total, 5 solo, 3 assists, 1 for a loss. Brad Leonard, another big night, 6 total, 3 solo, 3 assists, 2 behind the line, and we'll talk about him on special teams soon.
Mm-hmm.
Dyson V, 2 total, 1 and 1 behind the line. Spencer Conrad had a tackle. Orange Bangura, 6 total, 3 solo, 3 assists. Jace Robinson, 4 total, 2 solo, 2 assists, 1 for a loss. Charles Howard, 3 total, 2 solo, 1 assist, 1 behind the line. Austin Jones, 6 total, 3 solo, 3 assists, 2 behind the line, and a sack. Tyler also had a sack. Asher Mauer, 2 total, 2 assists. Amari and Southall, 5 total, 3 solo, 3 assists, 1 behind the line. Derek Stepter, 9 total, 5 solo, 4 assists, 1 behind the line. And Kimon Foss, 5 total, 2 solo, 3 assists, and he had an interception.
Yep.
Technically he had 2,
Yeah.
but we had a penalty on the play.
Roughing the passer on that one. Yeah.
Pretty good night for the defensive players.
Yeah. Obviously, they would tell you they were upset about the 7 that they gave up. We wanted to hold those guys to 0. And that's kind of just the standard of what we expect out of our defense and what they expect of themselves, which is a good expectation to have. Obviously, is it realistic to go out there and shut every team out that you played? No. But if that's our standard, then it's a good standard to have.
Right.
So, yeah, they were flying around all night. For the most part, rushing the football was a non-existent thing against us last week other than that one run. Throwing the football, they had a little bit of success. They threw for over 100 yards, but just a couple guys in wrong spots or, not making a play on the football. I think in the secondary, sometimes at the cornerback position, we haven't made plays on balls that we're in position to make plays on. We're not in bad position. We're not beat.
Right.
But we're just not making a play on a ball that's in the air when it's a 50-50 ball. We're allowing some other teams to come down with it. So it's just an improvement that we got to do and make sure we emphasize in practice, which we've done. But, yeah, I thought we had a big night from a lot of guys. Like you said, Tyler England, another big night from him. I think he's our leading tackler right now on the season. He's a force in the secondary and coming downhill and making plays at the line of scrimmage. He does a great job for us every single week. So, yeah, we're really excited about the way he's been playing football. Obviously, you mentioned it. Brad had another big night. Rashad had another big night. Austin Jones is doing well again, So we got a lot of guys on the defense. Derek Stepter had 9 tackles.
Yeah.
So and then Kimon obviously player of the game with the 2 interceptions. So I thought, secondary-wise, I thought we played pretty well. Lawrence Bangura played another good game back there at safety. So, we like what we see from those guys, and we just want to keep that competitive edge going forward, especially in them tomorrow night. But, yeah, man, our guys were upset that we gave up 7. They fully expected to go in there and get a shutout. So,
I love it.
But, yeah, I'm impressed with how they played. You know what I mean? We hadn't always put them in the best spots offensively this season, and we finally were able to kind of keep them off the field last week, and then you saw how much better they looked as a unit because they weren't on the field as much as what they typically have been. Because HL had some good players. HL had some ball players back there that could go.
Definitely.
So, I'm excited about their performance and the way that we played defensively for sure.
Great. All right, overall defensive stats. 24 carries for 93 yards, only 3.87 yards per carry. Passing, you said 103 yards, 11 for 26, only 3.9 yards per catch though.
Yeah,
which is that's nice. Third down percentage only 13%, 2 sacks, 1 interception.
Fumble recovery.
1 fumble recovery. Overall, 196 total yards, 50 total plays, 3.92 yards per play.
Yeah,
and 1 penalty.
Holding a team under 200 yards is tough to do.
Oh, that's...
So, like I said, excellent performance by the defense. And hopefully, we continue that trend for the next couple of weeks. Because, we talked about it a little bit last week, so I'll touch on it a little bit right now. Just, when you're looking at the PowerPoints and where we look, last week for this show, we were sitting at 27. And then after the win against HL, we moved up to 20. So, playoffs started today, we'd be in.
Right.
Just the strength factor, based on the strength factor of our schedule.
Definitely.
And, the win rate of the teams that we've gone against, that has our strength factor really, really high. And when it comes to the PowerPoints, they take into consideration who you played and how well that those teams have been playing. So, yeah, and that's what we told the guys. We get on a little roll here and went out. We got a really good chance to get into the playoffs. And then, once you're in, you're in. And anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But we're taking it one game at a time. There's been a lot of stuff going on this week. It's homecoming week with distractions and things like that. So we got to make sure we stay locked in and focused tomorrow night and take things one at a time. We can't be looking 3 weeks ahead saying, hey, we've got a chance to make the playoffs. No, we got to go beat Central Lafourche.
Got to beat Central first.
Yeah.
For anything. All right, special teams. Zach Hutchinson, 4 for 4 on his PATs.
Yep.
He missed a field goal. It was
about a 47-yarder and 47, 48, and it was barely missed to the right. He
had
the leg.
And he definitely had the leg for it.
Had the leg on it, but I thought it was.
We thought it went through.
I thought
That's
it was
how close
it
was.
It was he missed.
That's how close it was.
Yeah, it was right there.
4 kickoffs. 4 total kickoffs. No touchbacks. 210 yards. 4 punts for 137 yards. 34.25 yard average.
Yeah, he's doing a good job back there, man. He really has been doing a good job flipping the field position for us.
He's been kicking that ball well.
Yeah.
Punt returns. Dominic Blanchard, 1 for 7. Connor Foles, 1 for 38. They had a high snap over their punter's head, and Brad Leonard got the scoop and score.
Yeah.
But that's second touchdown in 2 weeks.
Yeah. For a defensive special teamer, that's pretty impressive.
That's pretty awesome. Kickoff return, Amari Griffin 1 for 15, and Keontae Jones 1 for nothing.
Yep. He just kind of fell on on a squib kick.
Right.
But yeah, so special teams wise last week, obviously we thought the effort was there. Thought we had good effort from those guys, and Brad obviously just around the ball. He's a ball player.
Yep.
He's always around it. He's always putting his nose in there, and when you do stuff like that and you're a high energy, high effort player, you just find yourself in positions to make plays. So I was really excited for him to get one, back-to-back weeks. And this time be able to actually celebrate it and know about the rest of the game after.
And he got his interview in one take tonight.
Hey, good job, Brad.
Good job, Brad.
But yeah, man.
I didn't post yet, but I'll post them both tonight.
Awesome. But yeah, so wrap the HL game up, HL week. But, big win for us. And now moving on to homecoming week versus Central Lafourche.
Central, we started last night, a JV freshman combined game.
Yeah.
They all played.
Yeah, because we were supposed to play freshmen and JV. They had too many injuries with their freshman team. So early in the week, they called and said, "Hey, can we play them together?" Sure, let's go. We would love to get our freshmen a game, but that's just not the scenario that they were able to go. But they did. Yeah, they played a lot in the second half. We got the win 14-2.
14-2.
Over there at their place. So yeah, I thought let's talk offensively. We had a really big toss pass from Quincy Wagner to Jonathan Bell.
That was pretty.
Which was nice. And then Vondarius Brown had a touchdown run down our sideline for about 40-something yards. So that was the score and output offensively. Thought the offensive line did okay. Those guys are growing. Those guys are learning. There's a lot of things that go into being an offensive lineman and learning the system and knowing the technique. So with those younger guys, sometimes the game is just moving so super fast. And when you put an athletic guy in front of them as a defensive end or a linebacker blitzing and things like that, it tends to kind of mess with them a little bit. But I think we've gotten a little bit better up front all season in the freshman and JV ranks. So that's something to build on. That's something to be excited about for the future of our program. And I thought our skill position guys did a good job. Jonathan Bell played really well. He had quite a few catches, at least 6 or 7 catches, some good run after catch. We turned the ball over a lot last night. Turned the ball over way too much. Just, on handoffs, just kind of miscommunications in the backfield, whether we were pulling it on the zone read or giving it, not having the right arm up on the actual handoff. Things like that. So I think, that's definitely something that we
young
need
players do
to clean up on, but that is kind of to be expected with a young group. But with as talented of a group that we have with the young guys, that's not something that we expect from those guys. So we got to make sure we clean that up next week.
They look good
and get better from it. But
defense looked good. Pitched the shutout.
Man, defense looked good. I thought Tevin Martinez had a really big game last night. He was all over the place.
Had a few sacks.
Yeah. Connor Gyro had a really good game last night. Landon Pertwee had a really good game last night. I thought Fish had a good game. Arsenault,
And
Max Lee, Max,
yeah.
he had another good one. So I mean, we're playing well on that side of the football in the
Yeah.
JV games.
And there was a couple times they were inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And like I said, our offense put them in bad spots with fumbles and stuff. And
they
I mean, they weren't giving
They
up
rose
a
to the
yard
occasion.
at all. They were getting in the backfield, making tackles for loss. Like you said, a bunch of sacks, man.
Yeah.
When they dropped back there to pass, we were able to get some pressure on their quarterback. So yeah, I thought overall, man, really good game defensively from our guys. I mean, they pitched a shutout. The offense
Yeah.
gave up two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean,
So it was a
they
bad
did
snap.
their yeah. It was we were backed up on like our
it wasn't
1
a bad
yard
snap,
line.
yeah.
They went for it on 4th and goal.
Yeah.
Our defense stopped them, and then we get the
That's
ball
what
on
it
like the
was.
half-yard line.
And
Snap in
couldn't
the
get out the end
backfield,
zone.
couldn't get out the end zone. But yeah, defense was really good. I thought we had a bunch of players that played pretty well.
Yep.
And then even once the freshmen got in there, those
Yeah.
guys did a
Oh,
good
yeah.
job at the tail end of the game, getting in there. I think we were able to play everybody last night, which was a goal for us to get a lead big enough to where we can get everybody in the game. Especially those freshmen, because we didn't want to just bring them out there just to bring them out there
Right.
and have them watch. We wanted to bring them out there so they could play. So yeah, it was a good experience for our guys, and I think even kind of like the win last week, which you mentioned being a good thing. I don't necessarily think our JV freshman team was really enthusiastic about how we won the
Right.
game last night. I think they wanted to put up more
Yeah,
points than
of
what they
course.
did and give up less than what
You
they
shouldn't
did.
be out here playing football if
Right.
you don't have that mindset.
Right.
Of
So
not wanting to get scored
I
on
love
and not
that.
wanting to score.
I love that. Just the fact that they just aren't satisfied with just a win.
Right.
It's got to be, we want to win in dominating fashion. We want to make sure everyone knows that we were the better team on
Right.
the field. So, yeah, that's a good quality for that team to have, especially progressing through their season. They will be in action next week on 2 different nights versus 2 different teams. So, Tuesday night, I want to say, freshman versus Madison Prep at home at 6:30. Wednesday night, Terrebonne at home at
JV.
6 JV. So freshmen playing Madison Prep on Tuesday, JV playing Terrebonne on Wednesday. Both of those home games times. We're gonna post it on our weekly post. When the game is, but yeah. So 2 different teams, but hopefully the freshmen don't get their game called by somebody else this week. Hopefully we can get the freshmen
Right.
a full 4-quarter
Full
game.
game,
And then the JV same thing on Wednesday night.
All right. Tomorrow night, Tiger Stadium,
Yep, homecoming.
Central Lafourche. I ain't
Homecoming.
worried about that. We got the Trojans coming to town.
That's right.
So what have y'all seen so far on film? Who stands out on offense and defense?
Yep. Offensively, they have a multiple attack. They do a lot of stuff. They do some shifting of formations and tight ends. They kind of use that to their advantage. They got I think it's a Zarang kid at
Porter
tight end.
Zarang, my little cousin's son, coming for you, boy.
He's a good player.
Yes.
He's a really good player. So I've been impressed by him watching their offense. And they got some skill guys, man. They got some skill guys. They got some good size
Right.
on the offensive line. And skill guys in the backfield. They're on a backup quarterback. Obviously, their guy early on the season is Willem anymore quit. It's a team that kind of is going through a lot this year. Hadn't won a ton of games. But it's a team that's going to be excited as hell to come play us tomorrow night, and it's going to be their Super Bowl.
Yeah, just like
to try
us,
to come to town and ruin the game, ruin the homecoming night for us. So we're fully expecting to get their best shot of the season tomorrow night, and then pull out all the stops to try to get them one. So we just got to make sure that we stay determined, stay locked in, stay focused on what we got to do, and you'll see our guys do that. Defensively, run a 4-man front, run a 3-man front when you get down kind of into the red zone. Play 2 high, play 1 high, play cover 3, cover 2. They mix it up a bunch.
Right.
They send some blitzes. They're I wouldn't call them a heavy blitz team, but they're not a vanilla team either. So they're going to throw a lot of different looks at us to try to make us confused a little bit up front offensively. But yeah, I mean personnel wise, like I said, they got some good players. We got some good size on the defensive line. Got some skilled guys in the secondary. Backers, I think, do a pretty good job reading run pass. So, those guys are coached up well, and they're going to be out here ready to give it a go tomorrow night. Kicker's not bad, in the kicking game. So, all three phases we're going to have to be sharp. We challenged our guys this week to make sure that we didn't, fall into all the distractions and things like that. I don't think we've done a great job of that, if I'm being honest with you. And I tell my guys, like I tell them all the time, I'm always going to be real with them. I'm not going to sugarcoat them and lie to them and tell them, oh, y'all doing a great job when you're not doing a great job. So I don't think we handled a lot of the stuff well this week. Now, we had a good Tuesday and Wednesday practice. I thought our Monday and Thursday practice was not good. So we got to be locked in and focused tomorrow night. We got to make sure all of the silliness and fun stuff is out of us, and we realize, hey, what's homecoming about? It's about the football game.
Right.
It's about the football team.
Right.
The dance is terrible if you don't win the football game.
Right.
Everything that
definitely.
goes into the whole week, it's ruined if we don't win the football
Right.
game. So it's a game that we got to go out there and win. I know the guys are excited tonight. We got the community pep rally at 6 o'clock. So that's going to be another thing for those guys. So one last kind of hoorah before we get settled in, get focused, and get ready to go tomorrow night. As a coach, obviously, I don't love homecoming week, but
me neither.
that's
I never did.
that's
I
just
never
part
did
of
as a
it because there's
player.
just so many different distractions
Yeah.
and things going on, especially tomorrow. Some guys on the court, they're going to take pictures during our normal time where we would be doing either meetings or
Right.
special teams roll call and things like that. So it's just, I get it. All that stuff has to happen. It's good stuff for them. It's good experiences.
Good for the school.
It's good for everything. But in as far as me and my feelings towards it, it's not my favorite thing in the world.
I
But
hated that stuff. I just wanted to get out there and play football.
that's right.
Worry about the dance on Saturday.
Yeah, and that'll happen at 7.
Yeah.
7 o'clock tomorrow night at home, Tiger Stadium. We're going to be ready to rock and roll.
Anything else?
No, man, that's all I got.
All right.
Go Tigers.
Who that? Go Tigers. I had to put it in there, boy.